Yeah, hi everyone. Actually, some students also will join. Then we can start the master class. The class will be started after 5 minutes. Thank you. Yeah. Hi, everyone. A warm welcome to each and everyone who joined this master class. Myself, Mobin, who is presenting the master class to you people. I'm just going to introduction about the AllPro trainings. So AllPro trainings are all professional course trainings. So we are providing all kind of trainings, especially the IT technologies, electricals, and IT technologies, electrical and electronic soft skills. In the IT technology itself, we are providing more than top 100 technologies trainings all over the world. Tilling our achievement is we have already trained more than 10,000 students all over the world, especially in USA, Europe countries, and all over India, which most of the students are placed in various MNC all over the world with excellent packages. So we are going to provide three types of trainings. The first one is in the master class that you are attending now, and the second one is the flash course, which is for the 10 hours, and the final one is full course, which will become more than 30 hours. This is the ALPO trainings introduction. So can you tell me about yourself in the chat so that I can interact with you, student? And that also we can wait 5 more minutes. Some students also will join. Yeah, now hear me? Sai Kiran, your said my voice is not clarity. Now hear me? It is voice properly now? Everyone hearing my voice? Or if you have any disturbance, just let me know so that I can adjust my mute mic or my network. I will check my network connections too. Yes, thank you, Hamza. Okay, Ravi, thank you, Ravi Teja. Thank you for the response. The response I can understand what you are exactly expecting. So, can you tell me about yourself in the chat so that I can know about you all? You are studying or you are working like that? You have any experience in work experience you can share, and you have if you are studying, just let me know which college you are studying and which course you are chosen and which you are studying. Yeah, Hamza, you are Mysore. Okay, what you are doing? You are currently studying. How you are working? Yeah, okay. Thank you for Gunashree and I mean little. I don't know name. You are mentioned the little only. So Grish from Mysore. Okay, so all are the working, all are the student, I think so. Okay, B-Tech Sholak. Okay, Selva, thank you for response. Thank you for Gautam, your response. Okay, you are all very active to attend the master class. Okay, thank you. You're working, Selva, you're working IT, great. It is more useful for you too. You can understand more about your technologies. Hi, Lakshman. Okay, Kubernetes. Yeah, you can definitely you will get some idea about the Kubernetes and Docker to do about today class. The trainer is also well experienced. Yeah, okay, thank you, Selva. Varshu, your B-Tech. Yeah, great. And Subra also from Varanasi, UP. Okay, thank you for all the response. And hope the class will be going very good. And if you have any if you have any disturbance like my voice or you didn't hear properly, just let me know so that I can check my network. Yeah, Homana, your B-Tech. Okay, thank you for all the response. We are start now the class session. Okay, this is the sessions you are going to be see. What are the things you are going to be see the next 1.5 hours? So this is a webinar overview. First is participation introductions that I had done before. 10 minutes it will be take. So second one is the webinar content. It will be for 45 minutes taken by the trainer, experienced trainer. So third one is queries. You have the any queries, doubt, you can ask in the chat. The trainer will be you, answer you, and he will be response. You can interact with your trainer and you can ask your doubts at all. And the next fourth one is student guides. So what are the things we are going to be provide you, that we have to be explain the 5 minutes, and the next 5 minutes is APT offer, that is the AllPro trainings offer, that is the 5 minutes. What is the offer we are providing, that is you are attending people for those peoples only we are giving the special offer. So stay whole, so you will get the what is the offer for this webinar. And the final one is queries and feedback. If you have any doubts overall the webinar, if you have the feedback, also you can ask me in the chat. I can answer you. And we can start the master class. Let introduction about the trainer. His name is Abhilash. He is a Docker and Kubernetes trainer. He is trained more than 500 students, and he is also well experienced. So hi Abhilash.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, hi everyone.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. We'll be discussing more about the Dockers and the Kubernetes today. So let me share my screen. Yeah, can someone please reply that whether my screen is shareable or not?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, perfect. 1 second. Yeah, everyone. Hi everyone. Good evening. So mostly we'll be discussing the differences between the what is a virtual machine, what is a Docker, and what is a Kubernetes. So we'll try to understand the major differences and the use cases of these three different concepts, and also we'll try to do some practicals on the same day itself. So let me give a brief introduction. What is the use of virtual machines and why Docker has come, and if the Docker is very beneficial in the virtual machine, why Kubernetes has come into the picture. So let us see now. So I'm just using an online editor. So let me draw a sample pictures and just show you like how an application is built and how everyone can access your applications. So let's say this is your laptop, like a PC which you are using. Okay. So this is a app which let's say the app name is something crazy. So you have deployed, like you have created an application. The application name is crazy. That particular crazy application was hosted in your personal laptop. So let's say you thought I'm just building an application which is no more of use, just I have created out of my interest. But what if in the future your particular application is getting more and more crazy? That means a lot of clients are hitting your particular web application, your application. So lots of traffic is coming into your application. So anyway, when so let me draw this sample picture. So let's say this is clients means generally the users. Just think of this is something Facebook application, and this is the all the users which we exist now. So generally this is something Facebook or crazy application which was created in your personal system. So in the future this application has become very crazy. So every client and every users in the world wants to connect to your particular application. But listen here, this particular application was created, installed, or hosted in your personal laptop. So generally your personal laptop will have 4 GB or 8 GB or 16 GB of RAM, or some little bit 500 of 1 GB of hard disk, right? But when lots of traffic is able to hit your particular web application, particular application which was hosted in your particular particular personal laptop, this laptop gets very low. That means this laptop is getting a lot of load, so it is able to getting down. So what do you do generally? Lots of traffic are hitting. So let's say your this is 8 GB RAM, and this is having a two core of CPU. Okay, but when lot of requests are getting, how do you manage this? So generally in olden days, what we do, we have to buy one more physical system which consists of let's say it is 16 GB of RAM, and also let's say it is four core CPU. And again this particular clients will eventually hit this as well as hit this, because in both the systems we have the same application. The application name is crazy. Now the load is load balanced. But what if the load is eventually getting very high and higher? So generally, right, generally in some Diwali days or some Ramjan days, Flipkart or Amazon keep some big billion kind of days, right? So generally what happens in the big billion days, so before big billion days, let's say a 1 lakh customers are hitting or using the Flipkart application. But on the day of the big billion days, as more offers are there in this particular Flipkart and Amazon, so crores of people might be hitting this particular application. So at the same moment, you have to understand, okay, lots of traffic is going to hit my particular application, so I have to increase my capacity. Then how do you scale your application? How do you scale your operating system? How do you scale your hardware requirements? So eventually you have to go to market and you have to buy multiple systems, right? This is not the case which we do in the general production world, in the real world. So to overcome this, this is like bare metals. Bare metals means the thing which we use generally, our personal laptops in the home use, right? This can be called as a bare metal. So if you want to install any application and make it in the private, make it in the public, so generally this method is not at all being followed, because in the future it might get a lot of traffic. How do you manage this? To In order to overcome this, we have a concept of VM. Okay, V means virtualization, M means mission. So we will be creating a virtual mission which generally doesn't exist in the physically. We will be creating a mission which is virtually. So how do you create that? So let me just give an overall architecture how we'll be creating a virtual mission. So let's imagine this is your personal laptop. So I'm just giving it as host. The host means the application on which your not the application, like any application, any program on which it is running, it can be called as something host. So this is your PC. Okay, on your PC, we have in order to create virtual machines, we have many softwares like Oracle VirtualBox and virtualization software, Hyper-V software. Many softwares we have in the market. So one of the best generally we use Oracle Virtual Cloud Box. So upon our host, this is assume this is our personal laptop. Upon this, we'll be installing one software that is called the virtual box. Okay, let's name it as VB. Upon our host, we just installed our virtual box. So this is like a software in it where we can create multiple virtual machines. So let's say you wanted to create, so let's say this is your Windows operating system, Windows. Okay, upon the Windows, you wanted to create multiple operating system which your client requires. So let's say I wanted to create a 2 operating system. Let's say this is Linux. Okay, and this is something Mac OS, or let's say this is something one of the Linux version which is some Ubuntu. So you want to install 2 operating system upon your operating system. This is one is Linux and this is Ubuntu. Okay, so now you can create multiple virtual machines upon your host. This is fine, but what happens is, let's say this your particular operating system is having only 4 GB of RAM. So your laptop is having only 4 GB of RAM. So what generally happens is, so even if we create any virtual box and install any virtual machines upon your this particular host, this 4 GB is being shared by these virtual machines. Let's say this particular Linux machine need 1 GB of RAM. Okay, out of 4, 1 GB goes here. Okay, this Ubuntu, let's say Ubuntu needs 2 GB of or 2 GB of RAM. So out of 4, 2 GB of RAM goes here. So 2 gone here, 1 gone here. Only there is only remaining 1 GB left out here. So 1 GB will be in this particular host. But what will happen if more number of clients is hitting this particular Linux or Ubuntu machine in the future? Eventually, this need more amount of RAM or more amount of CPU, right? How does this happen? Because in the host we have only 4 GB RAM. It cannot get more than 4 GB. Already it have taken 3 GB. It has to take one more of GB from this host CPU. If you take entire physical requirements from this particular host, who will manage this host? So eventually, once this host downs, entire virtual machines will be down, right? So this is also failure, right? So here we have the concept of Dockers. Okay. So let us just show you a sample picture of Docker. So now will be till now we have discussed about the bare metal. Bare metal means nothing but our physical system. Upon our physical system, which will be creating or installing or deploying any application. So when the peak traffic occurs or peak traffic were able to access our particular application. So due to the load traffic, our particular application will be down. So various that is not followed in the real life, all right. So we have moved to virtualization. So in the virtualization also, all the virtual machines will consume our space from our host system, which is our personal laptop. So this is also failure, not a failure, but as technology is increasing widely, lot of traffic is being able to hit this particular application. So we need to increase our infrastructure. So here Docker comes into the picture. So I will tell you like 2 to 3 use cases of Docker in the future, like means in the like 20 to 30 minutes. So let us concentrate on only one topic. Okay. So let's try to imagine Docker creates operating systems within seconds. So here for any bare metals, what do? You have to bring your physical requirements like CPU and everything. You have to create an operating system. It takes around 1 to 2 hours to install everything. But coming to virtualization, you have already operating system, which is your host operating system. Upon the host operating system, what do? You just create any virtual box software kind of thing, and you will install any what do you say, you will install any virtual machine. It takes around 10 to 15 minutes. But coming to Docker, within 1 second you can create any operating system, whether it might be Mac OS, Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, anything you name it, you can create within seconds. And also the beauty of Docker is, let's say you have a source code, you have a application, let's say you have application crazy. So let us imagine the crazy is an application which is a replica of like some Facebook. So you want to deploy your crazy application into Dockers. So what do? Generally, I want a Windows operating system. Upon the Windows operating system, you want your Facebook application or your crazy application has to be installed. So generally in the Docker, you can create the operating system along with your application at the runtime. So Docker can be called as a runtime application, runtime container. So at a time you can create an operating system as well as you can deploy your application. So there will be no time. So generally here in the bare metals or here in the virtualization, you have to create your operating system, then you have to deploy. But here you can deploy and you can create operating system within seconds and at a time. So let us see. So coming to container side, so Docker is one of the container. So we have many competitors for the Docker like the container D and some other etc. So let us more concentrate on the Docker only. So Docker means it's like a runtime application, runtime instance, which creates a multiple operating system, and also it will be like an application instance, which you can be created in the seconds. So let's say this is a Docker engine. I'm just giving D dot E. Okay. Docker engine. So where is the Docker engine is installed? So we need a host system, obviously. For any operating, for any program, for any software you want to run, you need an operating system, right? So let's say this is an operating system. So you can create, you can bring your any operating system either from the AWS, GCP, Alibaba, any cloud, or else you can create in your virtual machine. So let us think this is like some AWS host. I think most of you are aware of what is AWS. This is one of the cloud provider, majorly cloud provider in the market. So this is like one of your personal computer only, but which was hosted in the AWS cloud. Okay, I'm just giving the name as a PC. Okay, let's imagine this is your personal computer. Upon your personal computer, you have installed the Docker engine, nothing but a software or application. Okay. Now, upon your Docker engine, you can create your multiple containers, nothing but multiple operating system you can create within seconds. Okay. So let us think of creating a 4 containers. Okay. Let's imagine this is C1 and this is C2. This is C3 and this is C4. Fine, right? So upon your operating system, you have just installed one Docker engine, which is like a software or application to run our containers. So we have installed Docker engine. Upon the Docker engine, we can create the multiple containers of your own. So this can be created in the few seconds. Okay. And also you have a code, you have a source code of the crazy application. So you can directly, when you're creating this particular C1 container, you can insert your code and you can also create this particular container at a single point of time. So there will be no downtime, like creating operating system separately and pulling or inserting your code into your particular container. This is So mostly this will be used in the microservices architecture. So you might get it out what is microservice architecture. So let me just give a sample. Like let's say there is a famous application generally we use in our day-to-day Instagram, right? So generally we use Instagram application. So in the Instagram we have the many features, like we have the stories, post, we have the reels, and we have the search bar, and we have if you want to do send a friend request in the Instagram, you just follow them and they will follow it. So these are all the features. So generally in the production world or in the IT world, we generally say it as a every feature can be called as a service. So reels is a service, search bar is a service, following is a service, follow back is a service, changing password is a service. Everything is a service in a particular application called Instagram. Instagram is application. In the Instagram application we have multiple services. Okay, if we wanted to combine all the services, that can be called as an application, right? So if we wanted to make separate each feature into separate thing, that can be called as the microservices. So Rail can be a microservices, search bar can be a microservices, post can be a microservices, and story can be microservices. So combining all the microservices can be called as a application. So think of this is of the Instagram application only. So in Instagram you want the reels, you want the story, okay, you want a post, and you want a follow thing, you want to follow back. So we have deployed our four services, nothing but four features in our Docker container operating system. So this entire microservices, all the services which are there in this particular Docker containers can be called as a single point of application, nothing but the Instagram. So combining the multiple microservices can be called as a single point of application. So we can generally Dockers can be used in a system where we use the microservices. So mostly 99% of the time in the production world or in IT software world industry, we use the microservices concepts only. So let us summarize the differences between the one more point I just want to forget. I just forget which is the more use case of Docker. Why we have come for the Docker even if we have the VM, right? So generally what happens in the virtualization, whatever the VMs we create in our operating system, that will be shared by our host system, right? So the host system is having the 8 GB of RAM. We have discussed 4 GB, right? So it is having the 4 GB of RAM. So whatever the amount of VMs we use, so every RAM or the resources or the space will be going to our particular virtual machine. So eventually our particular Windows or operating system, which is a base OS or host system, will be getting down. But here the best thing is, so all the containers which we are creating now, this will be having, this is having 1 GB of, this is having 1 GB of application, this is having a 1 GB of this is one. So out of 4 GB, right, this 4 GB is not being consumed from this AWS or from this our personal laptop. So because for the Docker containers, for every container we can create a separate storage. That is the beauty of this particular containers. So we can create each storage, nothing but a volumes, we can create each volume or a storage for a single container. So in the future your container is getting lot of traffic, so you can just increase the space or storage of your container which is being mounted to this particular container, or else you can increase the number of replicas of your container. But this doesn't mean that it will slow down or it will consume the space from your host personal operating system. This is one of the beauty of Docker engines, nothing but containerization concept. Till now, is anyone clear? Everyone clear, right? You can ask me questions right away now. I will be giving just a 1 minute of grace time, so you can ask me now. Later we will be discussing about the Kubernetes.
Sir, this is Saikiran, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, in Microsoft Azure also we can create the multiple virtual machines by using different sizes, no, sir.
I did not get it. Can you come again, please?
In Azure, sir, in Microsoft Azure also,
Yes.
we can create the multiple virtual machines, no, sir, with different sizes and different disks.
Yes, perfect. Good question. Good question. So here we have multiple cloud providers like Microsoft Azure, AWS cloud provider, and also GCP and some DigitalOcean Alibaba. But here, generally what happens in any cloud providers, we have to use the services and pay per as a rental basis. Let's say in the Azure, we have the virtual machines, right? We have to create a virtual machines. Per hour basis, we have to pay the amount. That is not a free trial. But here coming to Docker and this virtual machines like the we have discussed the virtual box, right? And also coming to Docker engine, this is the open source thing. So you can just download the free and you can install your operating system or else whatever you think you may be. This is the open source kind of thing. You can install anywhere. And also in any Azure or GCP or AWS virtual machines, it will be a single point of virtual machine. In the single point of virtual machine, let's say your name's Aikiran, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Aikiran. Let's say you have created an application called a crazy application. So in the future, lots of traffic is being hitting into your particular application. Generally, what do you do? Or else your crazy application is having lots of features like Instagram Reels and everything. So you cannot keep every feature like Instagram Reels or post in every single virtual machine, right? For a single service, you cannot create multiple virtual machines. Because of that, you have to pay a lot of rent. You have to pay a lot of rent to your Azure machines. Generally, the pricing will be high, right? So, but coming to here, Docker engine is free, where you can download in the open source market. Just go to your internet and just download Docker Hub engine. You will get a binary and install your application system. And the containers, in how much time you can create the container? Within seconds. I will show you the demo. Within seconds, you can create the container. But what in the Azure VM missions or AWS VM missions, you have to select what type of instance you want and what type of everything you have to specify there, and will take a lot of time. And also each service you cannot deploy into different VMs, right? Which will be a cost thing. One is open source. One is open source, which is also called the which is will be synced with the pricing, right? That's the main issue. And also in the coming to microservice architecture, you cannot keep your single services into multiple VMs, right? That's the we come to Docker. So in the Azure, let's say coming to Azure, right? So when you come to AWS cloud provider, in the AWS cloud provider also we will create one AWS instance which can be called as a VM in the Azure. So upon that VM or upon that particular EC2 instance, we will be creating this particular Docker engine. So let's imagine this is a Microsoft Azure machine, Azure VM machine. Upon this Microsoft Azure VM machine, you just create Docker engine and create multiple containers. Install all your services or your application into these particular containers. You can do like this. Instead of that, so what you want to do is actually you will create multiple Azure VMs. Upon that, you want to create multiple services, which will be a cost, right? And you have to sync up with all the VMs, right? Did you get my point?
Yes, sir. Sir, by using Azure, we will create one virtual machine, and in that virtual machine, we can create the we can install the Docker, no, sir.
Yes, perfectly. You can install.
But we have to choose the virtual machine size based on the app services.
Yes. Let's say your app will be like it is not as famous as like Facebook, Instagram. It's a very minimum amount of space, minimum amount of traffic will be coming. So you can give this can be like 5 to 10 GB. So mount some 5 to 10 GB value to this particular container. That will be sufficient. This is like some advanced topic. Later you can discuss like how much space you can give for each of your containers. We can define the YAML code.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Is anyone? If no, I can just go to Kubernetes. Can someone just reply like, is everyone is fine? You got some clear picture. Okay, fine. I think no one has some questions, no concerns, right? Okay, let us go to Kubernetes. So till now we have discussed about the bare metals, nothing but your operating system, installing any application on your operating system. We have gone from there to virtual machines. From the virtual machine to we have gone to Dockers. From the Dockers, we are going to Kubernetes. Okay. So let us come back to the same example in the Dockers. So generally Kubernetes, which can be shortly called as a K8s. K after K, just give 8 K8s, which can be called as a Kubernetes. So here, the main use case of the Kubernetes is This is your Docker engine, which was hosted in any operating system. Upon it, we have 4 containers. Let's say one of you, we have created an application in it. Over the night time, suddenly there was a lot of traffic. There was a lot of traffic hitting on your particular containers. In these containers, you have your application. So in the night time, how do you scale this particular Docker containers? It will be 1 second. So in the midnight, your particular application is going very crazy. So how do you manage your containers? So you have to scale up your containers, right? How does this happen? So you have to scale up your containers, increase or decrease your containers, and also your application shouldn't be any downtime. So that's the beauty of containers. So container is an orchestration engine. Orchestration means which manages all your containers, and make sure your containers will be your containers will be available at all the time. So Kubernetes, which manages all your containers. So let us see how it manages all your containers. Okay. So I'm just going a little deep diver because this is a master class. So I will be just discussing about the mainly focusing on the Kubernetes architecture. Okay. Just I will try to discuss about 10 to 15 minutes about the Kubernetes architecture. After we will be discussing of the Kubernetes architecture, we will be doing the practicals on the Dockers and the Kubernetes. Okay. So let me stop my screen for a few seconds. Until now, if anyone have questions, you can ask me. Meanwhile. Just a few seconds. I'm just searching for the particular picture, like which you can easily understand Kubernetes.
So just I have one more question from my mind.
Cyclone, right?
No, this is Sandeep.
Yeah, sure.
So I think you were discussing about the Docker, right? The Docker, compared with the Docker to Kubernetes, so you said only the high availability or scalability purpose. So most of the organizations are moving the Docker from the Kubernetes because of the scalability and high availability, or what would be the reason behind it?
Mostly high availability, right? So generally in our organizations or any organization, we make sure our application will be running all the time. So that's the main concern we will be looking around. So Kubernetes makes sure all your applications which was hosted in any environments, we have to make sure your particular application should be run in time every time. So generally it scales up your containers and just monitor your containers. If any containers goes down, it makes sure that this particular container has got down. So we have to immediately create another container. So there should be no downtime. There should be no data loss also. So mainly for the high availability, for the orchestration kind of thing, we use a Docker. And also one more use case is right. So if you use the Docker, we have only Docker. We have to use explicitly, we have to use Docker only. But when we use the Kubernetes, generally in the Kubernetes, we use the Docker containers. So if you don't want to use Docker containers, there are many Docker containers, like we have Containerd and some other container engines apart from Docker containers. So we can use any other containerization engines in our Kubernetes architecture, which we can manage our applications. Mainly we focus on high availability and scaling down of our applications. That's the only main motive of Kubernetes.
So in the Docker also, we're creating multiple containerization, right? So I think there is a high availability is there. I think I'm a bit confused.
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain one more time. So
high availability in the sense you're mentioning on the bare metal perspective or the containerization perspective? I didn't get that point.
Perspective.
Sorry?
Containerization perspective. So let me recap for 1 to 2 minutes. You will be getting the exact clear picture. Okay. So here, So why we are creating the Docker containers? So just we wanted to make sure we have, let's say we are having a microservice kind of architecture for our application. So we have to make sure our each and every service should be in a separate operating system, and combining them all should be a specific application. So we can create multiple containers within a few seconds. That's the beauty of Docker. But what if suddenly night, in the midnight, there are a lot of traffic hitting on your containers? How do you scale up it? A container is down. How can you make your container up? So some developer or some Docker developer, Docker engineer has DevOps engineer has to come on. He have to manually just wake up that particular container and have to recreate that particular Docker container. So meanwhile, the application will be down, right? But coming
Okay,
to
so you mean
Kubernetes, so
you mean to say
Kubernetes is, last point, let me finish my conclusion. So the Kubernetes will be a a thin layer above the containers. Okay, the containers will be inside. Over the Docker containers, there will be a thin layer like the Kubernetes. So this Kubernetes maintains all the containers within the cluster, which monitors for high availability. Yes, now you can ask questions if you have any.
so in the Docker failover, if any containers failover, as a developer, the admin has to create the containers manually. But if you goes to the Kubernetes, so the Kubernetes itself will automatically create the failovers, right?
Yes.
I mean, in the containers.
Yes,
That is the main reason we are moving for the Kubernetes.
Yes,
Am I right?
one of the core reason. So
I
even
see.
if particular container is deleted, within 1 second, you will be getting the new container in the Kubernetes. So there will be no downtime for your application.
Okay, thank you. Super.
Yes. So now I will be just discussing about the Kubernetes architecture. Might be confused a lot. So let me share my screen. Can anyone just tell me, is my screen is being shared? 1 second. Is my screen is being shared? Yes, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So we have discussed bare metals, we have discussed VM, we have discussed Docker. So now we'll be mainly focusing on the Kubernetes. So Docker, VMs mostly we do not use. So Docker is the basic concept which you need to know before learning the Kubernetes. Okay. So in the future, do not need to learn only Docker. So just learn about the containers. So in the future, in the Kubernetes, from the 1.23 Kubernetes version, we are not anymore using Dockers. We are using some other containerid. But we in the Kubernetes, we do not take care about what container it is using, whether it might be Docker or containerid. This Kubernetes doesn't take care of anything. It doesn't look on which container it is using, and we also need not to worry. We have to just manage our Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so let me just give an overview of the Kubernetes architecture. Is my voice audible right perfectly?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so here UI interface, let us assume we are a DevOps engineer. Okay, this is the UI kubectl. From the kubectl, there is a DevOps engineer. Okay, here a administrator or DevOps engineer can able to orchestrate, can able to create containers in our Kubernetes cluster. So mainly we have the two components in the Kubernetes cluster. One is the Kubernetes Master, one is the Kubernetes worker nodes. Okay, generally in the let's go to what do you say, Azure, Microsoft Azure, we have AKS. Okay, Azure Kubernetes. And in the AWS, we have EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. So generally this Kubernetes master is managed by the any cloud provider only. We need not to manage anything. Okay, this will be entirely managed by the any of the cloud provider or the Kubernetes cluster itself. We have to manage our worker nodes. See here we have explicitly mentioned worker node 1, worker node 2, means we have two worker nodes. So these two worker nodes are like any virtual machines in any of the cloud providers. Okay. So in these worker nodes, we have to deploy our specific applications. Okay. How do you deploy your application? Where do your application will be stored? Those applications will be stored in the form of the Docker containers in this particular worker nodes. Okay. Who will manage this all worker nodes? Kubernetes Master. How do you communicate with the Kubernetes Master? You will communicate with the Kubernetes Master. How do you communicate with the Kubernetes Master? We have a command called the kubectl. Kubectl is nothing but a software or a program where a user can able to connect with the Kubernetes Master. So from here, we use the kubectl command to connect with the Kubernetes Master, and we tell to Kubernetes Master, hey Kubernetes Master, just deploy my application into this particular worker node, creating a Docker container. Okay, this is like overall architecture. Let's get into some deep dive. So here, remember there's a concept like pod. Okay, 1 second. Okay, Kubernetes. This is a worker node which we have discussed, which you have seen in the picture. This is a worker node. I'm just drawing here. Let's call it as W. Okay. So generally, what we have known in the worker node, we can deploy our application. How do you deploy application? Within the container, right? So upon the container, we have a wrapper, we have a layer, which is known as a pod. Okay. This is pod. Okay. So inside the pod, we can have the multiple containers. You can create multiple containers. But in the real life production world, generally we use a single pod, you will be creating a single container. But in the worker node, a single worker node, you can have hundreds of pods. In hundreds of pods, you can have single containers, or you can have multiple containers. So this is a worker node. This is a single pod. Inside single pod, let's say you have 2 containers. This is C1 and this is C2. Perfect, right? This is a worker node, a pod, inside pod, we have 2 containers. Okay. So here, all the containers will be managed by Kubernetes. If any of the pod container goes down, it will be managed by the Kubernetes. So from here onwards, do not repeat the term as a Docker containers. So we have to use the name of the only container, because the outer layer is a container. So in the Kubernetes, we call everything as a pod. So we have one pod. Inside the pod, we have application. So if any pod goes down, eventually Kubernetes create one more pod, or if the traffic is high, we can replicate our multiple pods. That's the main use case. So let us discuss how Kubernetes creates a pod, how Kubernetes manages the pods, how Kubernetes manages these worker nodes. What if a pod goes down? How can it knows whether this particular pod is down only in this particular worker node? How can it know this pod is there in this particular worker node? Let us just go to this basic architecture diagram. So generally what happens is, when you try to hit this, when you try to give the kubectl command, generally it goes to API server. Okay. From this API server, so this is the API server. This is a scheduler. Scheduler means we schedule all your pods into worker nodes. Control manager. So in the control manager, generally we have node controller manager, replication controller manager, and some other controller managers which will be discussed in the further. So let us try to remember only 2 control managers. Inside the control managers, we have 2 control managers. One is node control manager and other one is replication control manager. Okay. And the fourth, another concept is etcd, one of the component in the Kubernetes master. etcd is like a database in the Kubernetes master. So whatever all the pods which are creating, whatever all the worker nodes which we have, so all those stuff will be stored as a key value pair in the etcd database which was stored in the Kubernetes master. So generally what happens is, a guy, let's say myself, okay, myself Abhi. So Abhi wants to create a pod and deploy his application into one of the worker node. This is the worker node. Okay. And also before going to that, so let us also, we have seen the Kubernetes master architecture, right? Let us also see about the worker node architecture. So okay, in the worker node, we have the 2 concepts, we have the 2 objects mainly. One is the kubelet, This is the queue proxy. So kubelet is like the captain of the ship. For this particular worker node, who is the captain? Kubelet is the captain. Means it manages all your pods existing or able going to create in this your particular worker node. So kubelet manages, monitors all your pods. It health checks all your pods and sends to the Kubernetes master. And this queue proxy, in order to establish the network between all your pods and all your different worker nodes, queue proxy can be used for networking kind of thing. And here the Docker engine will be absolutely there, because in order to create any pods or containers inside the pods, we should need the Docker container engine, right? So you'll be having in the future, you can also have different container engine other than Docker, like containerd. So here we have 2 worker nodes. In each worker node, we have the 3 pods. In the pod 1, we have the 3 containers, pod 2, 1 container, pod 3, 2 containers. The same is in this the worker node 2. So how a pod can able to schedule into our desired worker node. So let us see how this is going to happen. So in the kubectl, so a user wants to create a pod. So he just give a command. The command goes to API server. So when it goes to API server, generally this API server has the only capability to reach the etcd database. So it tells to etcd that, hey, there is a user named Abhilash. So he wants to create a pod. So just store the information like he's going to be created a pod. Okay. Now, once the information is stored into etcd, then etcd tells the API server that, hey, what are the information that you have been told to me? I just stored in my database system. That's fine, right? Now API server tells to scheduler, hey, there's a requirement of creating one pod in our any of the worker nodes. Can you try to schedule one pod into any of the worker nodes? Then the scheduler tries to just check which worker node has the capability of scheduling a pod into this particular worker node. Let's say this worker node is having total is having 10 GB of RAM, and this worker node is having 20 GB of RAM. Okay, but our pod is having if you want we are going to create a pod, right? This particular pod is which consists of 5 GB of RAM. That much amount of RAM it has to be there. It has to, that particular amount of RAM it needed to run our particular container. So this is having 20 GB of RAM. This is having 10 GB of RAM. So scheduler tries to understand, like you can get it out. So in which worker node this scheduler schedules the pod. So generally, how does it it manages or it do some basic mathematics is, this is W1 and this is W2. Okay, this is having 10 GB, this is having 20 GB, and the pod which you wanted to create, this is having 5 GB. So it thinks that, okay, it is having 10 GB of free space, it is having 20 GB of free space. If I go and sit into this particular worker node, there will be 5 GB of free space. Or else if I go and sit into this particular worker node, there will be 15 GB of free space. Okay, then it understand, okay, 15 GB free space is the high available for this particular worker node. That means I have to sit into this particular worker node only. So it just calculates by this. Okay. Now automatically what does that this scheduler does is it calculates some basic math and it understands, okay, this particular worker node 2 is having a high amount of, so I have to go to this particular worker node 2 and I have to sit on this particular worker node 2. Then this scheduler goes to worker node 2, but it doesn't schedule actually. It schedules only in which worker node I have to sit. Only it does only in which worker node it have to sit. It only takes care of the responsibility in which worker node it has to be seated. Once the scheduler goes to top layer of the worker node 2, this kubelet is the captain of this worker node 2, right? Then it gets the information from the scheduler that a pod wants to sit in your particular worker node 2. Then this kubelet will try to schedule this particular pod in the desired worker node, which is known as the worker node 2. If a user is requesting for the three pods, so 3 pods will be created. So user tries from the kubectl goes to API server tells the information to etcd that a user Abhilash wants to create a pod, Then etc sends a acknowledgement to API server. Then API server sends information to scheduler. Then scheduler tries to understand which node has the sufficient free amount of space. Then scheduler goes to the desired worker node 2. So then the kubelet, which is the captain of the ship for the worker node 2, it understand it needs to create a pod. So it creates a pod into this particular worker node 2. So for every 5 seconds, this kubelet sends the health check, like this pod is having this much amount of free space. A particular container in this particular pod is filled. It sends all the information to API server again. Now API server goes to API server tells to scheduler, hey, there was a particular pod which you have been created, which you told to worker node. There was a delay, like there was a downtime for a particular container. So how can you replicate or how can you create a new pod? Then scheduler goes to controller, kube controller manager. In the kube controller manager, already have told you we have node replication controller as well as replication pod replication controller. Then this pod replication controller goes to this particular worker node 2 and creates a multiple replicas. Okay, like this is the basic, very basic architecture of Kubernetes. Mostly, guys, you might be confusing of the different terminologies which we will be discussing on the Kubernetes, but you need to mainly understand the core concept of Kubernetes, which is like architecture, like how a pod is going to be scheduled, who is going to be scheduled, how in which worker node is going to sit, how can you who can do this. So these are all the things which you need to know. So any doubts you can just ask me. Now I will be giving some practical demo on the Dockers as well as the Kubernetes. Any doubts, guys?
Yeah, Sandeep, yeah.
Yes.
So you were mentioning about the, I have a query, question regarding the scheduler and the kubelet. So you said, scheduler will try to verify the specifications of the worker nodes, worker
Yes.
1 and worker 2, right?
Perfect.
That is the thing that's what my understanding. And if you come to the kubelet, what is the role of, again, you told this kubelet also captain of the ship, and this will monitor the specifications of the thing. And again, it will send back to the API server. So there I missed out at the point.
Okay. You just want to know the difference between the scheduler and the kubelet. What are the different functionalities?
Different functionalities of kubelet and scheduler.
Perfect. I will be explaining. Okay. So consider this worker node 2. So we have 3 pods. In the 3 pods, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the worker node 2, we have 3 pods. In the 3 pods, we have 6 containers. So for every 5 seconds, these kubelets try to health check all the pods and all the containers in the worker nodes and sends the information to API server. For every 5 seconds grace time period, it sends all the information, health reports, health checks to API server. This is the main duty of the kubelet. So it will be like captain of the ship. It sends all the required data, required information about the running and not running pods in the worker nodes. But coming to scheduler, it schedules the pod. It just understand in which worker node I have to sit. The main functionality of the scheduler is in which worker node I have to sit. It just calculates and understands, okay, I have to sit on only worker node. It goes to worker node, but doesn't sit in the worker node too. But then kubelet try to understand, okay, this scheduler wants to create a pod in my worker node. Now kubelet goes to a upper layer of this worker node 2 and creates the pods inside this worker node 2. That means kubelet sends information and also creates the pods in its particular worker node. But coming to scheduler, the main functionality is in which worker node I have to make sure to sit your pods into desired worker nodes. You are clear now?
So creation of the pods will be done by the captain of the ship. That is kubelet, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the decisions will be done by the scheduler.
Scheduler just schedules on which worker node I have to sit.
Yeah, the decision will be done based on the specifications.
Yes, decision will be done by scheduler, and creating the pods will be done by the kubelet.
Super, excellent.
And every 5 seconds, kubelet sends information to API server. So let's say this pod is down due to high traffic. Okay, immediately kubelet sends information to API server. Hey, API server, this particular pod was down. Then API server sends information to control manager. In the control manager, we have the replication controller, nothing but pod replication controller. Then pod replication controller goes to worker node, and then kubelet understands what kube controller manager wants to create. So it immediately creates another replication pod. Clear, right?
Yeah, it's very informative and clear. Yep.
Yeah. So let me try to. So everyone, you just got a brief introduction about the differences between the bare metal, then the VM, then the Docker, then the Kubernetes. Perfect, right? So mostly every application, every software, any social media, anything. So generally we have Netflix, we have YouTube, which we get lots of traffic, right? How do you manage it? Mostly on the Kubernetes only. Generally Kubernetes was prepared by or something invented by Google. Okay, so let us try to work on Dockers for some time, then we'll go for Kubernetes.
So, Abhi, last question from my side. So,
Sure.
I think in the Kubernetes environment, most of the persons used to say name servers, namespace or name servers. I forgot that. So, I think you have not covered that point. Is it pod and namespace?
Can you please come once again?
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
So, in the Kubernetes environment, most of the environment, most of the persons used to call as namespace or name servers.
Yes, yes. Namespaces. Perfect.
Yeah, pod and the namespace are the both are same or it's different?
No, different. That is a little bit advanced topic which we can discuss in the later. So in order to just give a small introduction about that. So you have asked the question, right? So let me also clear it out. So we have worker node 2, right? Worker node 2. So okay, let me also tell you that. This is W1. Perfect. Okay. We let's imagine we have 4 teams in our office, in our organization. We have 4 teams. So 4 teams wants to deploy their applications. Okay, but they wanted to deploy their applications in a isolated area. That means each application should not be able to accessible to another application. So no other person other than that particular application should able to access. Let's say this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Okay, this is the worker node. We have splitted our worker nodes into 4 parts. Okay, so each part can be called as a namespace. Okay, I'm just giving writing as a shortcut, which is known as NS. NS means namespace. Okay, so let's say a person named Abhilash, he wants to he's a developer. Let's say he's a developer, DevOps engineer. He wants to deploy his application only in this particular A namespace. So he'll be deploying into only A namespace. And also moreover, he will be getting the access to this particular A namespace only. So no other namespaces will be affected by this particular user. The main use case of namespaces is splitting our cluster or worker nodes into multiple different pods so that only their team can use their namespaces. Perfect, right? Any doubts?
It's very perfect. Clear.
Yes. Okay, let me go to Docker now. It's already late. Okay. I am presently using Ubuntu as my base operating system. My personal computer is Ubuntu operating system. So already I have installed the Docker engine. So you just go to Docker, just go to Google, just give Docker download. Okay, for whichever operating system you want. If for Windows, you just give download Docker Windows. Okay, for Ubuntu or for Linux, you have many more options. You can see official documentation. Okay, already have the Docker engine in my laptop. So let me check. Okay, I have Docker version 20.4. Okay, so sudo means in any Linux operating system, if you want to run, if you want to make any operations as an administrator kind of thing, you will be using sudo as a prefix, as a command. So generally in the Windows, we'll be having a administrator user access and a normal user guest user access, right? So for administrator kind of user access, we'll be using the sudo. So don't worry, for every command, I will be using the sudo as a prefix. Okay. So I wanted to list out what all the Docker images, like Docker operating system. You know, right? For every operating system, we'll be having an ISO image. For a Windows, we have an ISO image. For Ubuntu also, we have some ISO image, right? If you want to create any operating system, you just need a ISO image. So let us try to check, do I have any Docker images which were already there in my particular operating system? It is for the first time, it prompts with the password. It says I have the Ubuntu. So let me delete for now. Sudo is a prefix. So for every Docker command, you have to explicitly give Docker. RM means in Linux, RM means delete anything. I means image. If I want to delete any Docker image, just give RMI. And what is the image you want to delete? The image name is Ubuntu. So sudo docker RMI Ubuntu. It says that it is deleted. So let me also check once again. It says that no images were there. It is showing just the pop-up columns. Okay. Let me also see, do I have any containers presently running in my system? Okay. Sudo docker. PS means show the process IDs. Nothing but it listed all the containers. All the containers. It says there were no containers and also there were no images. Perfect, right? Now my requirement is like, my requirement is now, I have to create a Ubuntu operating system, which is a Docker container. Okay. This is my requirement. So if you want to create a Docker as an Docker Ubuntu operating system as a Docker container, so generally what do? For any operating system, you need image, right? That means you need a Ubuntu operating system image. So generally we have Docker Hub registry, which is available openly in the market. Okay. Just go to Docker Hub registry. Let's say you want Ubuntu. Just click on the Ubuntu, which is an official image from the Ubuntu, which was updated by 3 days ago. See, there was 1 billion plus downloads. So mostly in a production environment, we use Ubuntu or Linux or Amazon images or Windows machines. So you will be not downloading any ISO image, which will be like 5 to 10 GB of space, right? You just pull from this Docker Hub registry. So now in my personal laptop, I will try to pull this particular Ubuntu image from the market to my local operating system. And also I will run this particular Ubuntu operating system in my local laptop. Okay. Let us do that now. Sudo docker run -it. I means interactive terminal. That means I wanted to, okay, I will explain the command later. Ubuntu /bin/bash. This means sudo is a prefix. Explicitly we have to give docker, right? For any Docker commands, I want to run something, Docker run. What do you want to run? I wanted to run the Ubuntu. I want to run the Ubuntu image as operating system interactively. I means interactive, T means terminal, /bin/bash, which is a shell. That means I just wanted to pull a image from the Docker Hub registry, and also I wanted to run this particular image. That means I am going to create a container Ubuntu, and also I wanted to get into this particular container. Okay, pulling the image, creating the container, and getting into the particular container. I means interactive, T means terminal, bin/bash, nothing but a shell. First, it try to find the image locally. It says that, okay, whether there was any Ubuntu image found out in my local laptop. No. See, you can see downloading from the library Ubuntu, latest one. So from here, now from here it is downloading. That means we should need internet. See, status download your image Ubuntu latest. First, it tries to find out the image locally. Later, this is the tag name, Docker Hub tag name, pulling from library Ubuntu. The image name is 26. Generally, how much GB will be there, right? It will be like 2 to 3 GB, right? Ubuntu operating system. But coming to Docker, it is very lightweight. Okay, it just downloaded now. And downloaded now, and also we have been checked into the Docker container. You can see, right? Till now, before executing command, I was there in Abhilash user. When I just run this, it just pulled it, it just downloaded it, And also I've entered into the particular container. Let me exit from that container. Let me see whether that particular image is created or not. Perfect, right? Repository Ubuntu latest image ID created 3 days ago. Created 3 days ago means this size 72.8 MB, which we can be discussed later, because some might can get it out. Here you are getting 26 and here 72 size. We'll be discussing later. This is a bit more concept. We'll be discussing later. You can also get doubt like I just created the image right now, right? Then why it is showing at 3 days ago? That means this Ubuntu image which was updated from the Ubuntu company 3 days ago. That means just go to Ubuntu Docker Hub. You can see this particular image was updated 3 days ago. That will be shown here. Now, if you want to do list out all the containers, this is the container ID. Which image it is using? This is using this image. From this image, it is creating a container. Okay, bin bash. If you want to get into this particular container, nothing but a particular operating system. How do you get into this particular operating system? Sudo docker execute. I wanted to just execute into the particular operating system. -it interactive terminal. I want interactive terminal. That is /bin/bash. 1 second. I have to give the container name, right? One second.
I think container names, hyphen names.
You can give in the multiple ways. This should be also working. Should work actually. I think this particular container is in excited state. That means this particular container is getting stopped. Not sure why this is happening. Okay, just don't focus on it. Just focus on.
We need to run it first. Then
yes,
we need to run first now, because it is already
already have run it, right? I have given sudo docker run it. I have run it, and also I have got into this particular container, right? Already.
Use -d.
-d, which will be run in the background, detached mode. Actually, this particular container is in the exit state. That might be the reason.
Yes.
So we'll be just skipping it. So what we have done is we just pull the Docker image, which is the image name is Ubuntu, and we have just created the container. That's the container ID, this one. So you can just create the containers within the few seconds. That's you can create the containers. So let's say in the future you wanted to make your let me clear this. Let's say in the future you want to make customization for your Docker images. Let's say you wanted to create you wanted to pull an image from the Ubuntu, and also you wanted to create some HTTPD, or so you want to create a web server in it. Okay, you wanted to create you wanted to pull an image Ubuntu, and also as well as you wanted to just create a web server in it. So we can just give some Docker files. So I think I will not discuss that now, but let me show you that. Already there is one file thing. So generally, if you wanted to make any customizations for your particular Docker images, or else while you are creating any Docker images only, you wanted to install any applications, or you want to copy your source code into your particular image, you can just create any Docker files. Here, what it says is from the Ubuntu. That means pick the pull the image from the Ubuntu registry. So once the Ubuntu image is created, Ubuntu content is Ubuntu image is created, just run apt-get update. So update all your packages in this particular Ubuntu, then install Nginx. into this particular Ubuntu. Then just give command, just print image is created. So generally till now what we have done is just we have pulled the image and created the container. So when we use any Docker files, we can make our customization for your Docker images. Okay. So the time is running. So let me go to Kubernetes very fastly. So I'm using Minikube software, which will create a Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So just give kubectl. So kubectl is the client command where we can connect it to the Kubernetes cluster. So for now, I'm creating a namespace. That means I just wanted to make separate of all these classes into one namespace. Create namespace. NS means namespace. In which namespace I wanted to create. Let's say the namespace will be Docker and K8. Okay. If you wanted to see, the namespace is created. If you just wanted to list out all the namespaces, just give kubectl get ns. NS means namespace, is a shortcut. You can see where this Docker K8 is, which was created 12 seconds ago. Okay. Now in this particular Docker K8 namespace, I wanted to create a pod. So even if I delete that particular pod, it has to create immediately. That means I have to make a deployment, which is a advanced concept in the K8. So for that, I will be creating, already have some deployment file. So let me kubectl. So already, so I'm not going with the ad hoc command. So already I have one basic deploy file. So just do not worry about this all code. We also have some ad hoc command. So let me show how Kubernetes, the main use of the Kubernetes use case, the main use case. So let me kubectl apply -f deploy.yaml. In the which namespace you wanted to create, you wanted to make deploy. In the namespace, what is the namespace we have given? Docker K8, right? Yes. Just you wanted to list out all the resources which were there in this particular namespace, Docker and K8. I have just applied. There is a deploy.yaml file. Just do not worry about this file. I am just applying this file in this particular namespace. So there was a deployment.apps /frontend. This frontend deployment was created in this particular Docker K8 namespace. Now I just wanted to get all the resources in this particular namespaces. This is a namespace name. I wanted to get all. Now you can see there were 5 pods actually. There were 5 replicas. I have created 5 replicas with the use of deployment. Now I will just delete a pod. This is one pod in namespace Docker and K8. Just remember this last name 4HK8L. Now I will be deleting this one. Immediately another pod will be created. So I'm just deleting it now. This is deleted. Oh, I am this. Okay. I have deleted 94C. Okay. I have deleted this, right? 4HK8L. This JPKGX. No, I think this one. Yes. KX58K, which was created very newly, 14 seconds ago. These all the pods were created 80 seconds ago. Now I have deleted one pod here, right? So this is newly created 14 seconds ago. That means any application which was hosted on this particular pods or particular container in your Kubernetes, even if the particular pod crashes, immediately there will be a new pod creating with the use of the Kubernetes resources like deployments and the replica sets. So there will be high availability for your applications. That's all, guys. I just wanted to show you the differences between and the functionalities and some main use cases and the sample practicals between the VMs, Dockers, and the Kubernetes. Any doubts you can ask me. Already the time is very up. Thanks everyone. Where is let me show. Okay. Yes, AllPro. Guys, you can talk here. I just finished my class here. Any doubts, guys? You can ask me right away. Hello. Can anyone just respond me, like were you able to hear
Can you
me?
hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes. Yes, Murthy.
Yes, yes. Yes, the recording, the session is live on YouTube. You can be check it the sessions in the our AllPro trainings YouTube session page in YouTube. And I
Okay.
think someone will ask the doubt in the chat actually. So only.
Okay, can you just share me the YouTube link?
Yeah, we'll share you in the end of the session in the
Yeah, yes,
group.
I can answer the
WhatsApp group.
queries there also. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, students, you have any doubts? You can ask me now. It like Sai Kiran and some Sandeep, you have asked me quite good questions.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
Amit,
can you hear me?
please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Amit.
What the scope of the with the other technology, DevOps, like AI and other technologies, we can also use with the DevOps.
Yes, yes. Let's say you have a model. Let's say you have created some neural networks, or you have created some model. So where can you put those model, right? You have built a neural network model. Where do you provision, or where do you orchestrate your particular application AI model? There should be infrastructure, right? There should be something cloud requirement, something VM. If that application is going crazy, your model, where do you keep it? You need Dockers and Kubernetes, right? Mostly for every application in every field, you need Dockers and Kubernetes. Mostly that was used by DevOps, Docker engineers, Kubernetes engineers, and cloud engineers, Linux administrator. But nowadays, even the developers has to also know the Dockers and the Kubernetes, because developers only write the Docker files and put their source code into the Docker file, just tag to Docker file and create their images. So rest of this deployments, Kubernetes stuff will be done by Docker DevOps engineers. Yes, Amit, whatever your requirement like AI, machine learning models, everything, you can put into your Docker containers.
Okay. And what is the DevOps engineers? I think I say that like what the post most that DevOps engineer is the hello.
You can speak in your native language if that is the problem.
मैं कहना चाह रहा था कि जो
Not Hindi. You know Telugu?
No, sir. I know.
Okay, okay. Like you just wanted to ask a question like how Docker and Kubernetes plays a major role in the DevOps learning. That you want to ask?
नहीं एक्चुअली जो पोस्ट होती है हमारी वो मतलब मैं किसके लिए अप्लाई रहेगा डेवऑप्स इंजीनियर एक्चुअली डेवऑप्स make two things like dev and operations.
Okay,
So,
okay. But yes, yes. I got your question. For generally for the DevOps kind of roles, you need it will be combination of development and operations, but mostly the development will be like some automation scripting kind of thing only, like some Python shell scripting, Ruby kind of. So mostly we'll be focusing on the operation things, like how do you orchestrate your containers like Kubernetes, and how do you create container, how do you manage it from the Kubernetes, and also we have CI/CD. So let's say some code is being always pushed to your GitHub or Bitbucket repositories, and how that is being continuously integrated, continuously deployed into your Kubernetes. So CI/CD is the one thing you have to learn, and also you have to learn how we can manage, you can deploy your application, that is Docker and Kubernetes. Docker and Kubernetes is almost a 50-60% which you need to learn in your which you need to know for the DevOps in your role. Anyway, learning AWS cloud is quite simple because everything in the console. Learning AWS cloud or Microsoft Azure, GCP is very quite simple. If you just know any one of the cloud, it is pretty sure you can learn any other cloud providers. But learning Dockers and Kubernetes, you have to just give some of your time. Mostly this is Dockers and Kubernetes DevOps engineers works, and also some CI/CD part. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, this is Sai Kiran.
Can you please increase, Sai Kiran, please increase your mic volume.
1 minute, sir.
Hello. Yep, Sai Kumar.
Hello.
Yeah, Sai Kiran.
Sir, am I
Yes, Sai Kiran, it's perfect.
Sir,
you can speak.
Sir, actually, I am from a BTech mechanical engineering background, sir.
Okay.
I have an educational gap of 3 years, sir. Now
Okay.
I am willing to join in like a cloud administrator role like that, sir, along with DevOps, sir.
Yeah, okay. For anything, generally, for DevOps or any IT courses, you need not worry that you are from mechanical, chemical, some other different background. Just engineering is mandatory. So whatever the department you have, it's not a big deal. Just focus just 2 to 3 months on any particular like DevOps cloud. So if you wanted to know DevOps, cloud should be mandatory. Okay. So all Kubernetes applications, all your applications will be in the cloud only. So in the cloud only we have Kubernetes. So Kubernetes also can be we have to create master and the worker nodes in our local. But why to bother about the Kubernetes master when the cloud providers are maintaining themselves only? So we will go for cloud providers, right? So that way you have to run you have to know the cloud, which is a mandatory Linux basics and any one of the cloud provider. So once you know the Linux and cloud, it is very easy to learn any DevOps courses. Which Linux and the cloud is also 30-20% of the DevOps only. Linux and AWS is 20 to 30%, and Dockers and Kubernetes is like 50 to 60%. And the remaining thing is CI/CD from the Jenkins, Spinnaker, where you can learn very easy. Mostly it will be on the UI part only, console thing only. Just click point button. Not an issue whether you are from which background, you can learn anything.
Sir, and the thing is, as a DevOps engineer, we must learn all of the tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, GitHub, and like Maven, etc.
Yes, nice question. But reality, what happens in the actual backend reality is like for any application, if you wanted to make the application in the go live, like if you wanted to bring your application to the market, so from the GitHub to Kubernetes, we DevOps engineers manages everything. But what happens in the companies is it is like full stack: Git, GitHub, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, AWS Cloud, Grafana, Spinnaker, Prometheus, Docker, so everything. This is the full stack DevOps. But what happens is you have to know basics of all the stuff. But what happens in organization, you will be focusing like only Dockers and Kubernetes. You'll be focusing on only Jenkins CI/CD part. You will be focusing on Maven builds, or else you will be focusing on only GitHub. But it's very better to know how DevOps lifecycle management will be happen. How when there is a source code is there, how do you deploy that particular application to the market? That's the main thing. You should know. You should be knowing all the tools. That's the mostly important.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in Azure scripting, there will be an inbuilt code is provided, sir. So
yes,
if
I
any
got
doubt
you.
is
When you
like,
are creating any Azure VM machine in the user data, you can give any pre-built script, right? Which will run when the VM is created. That you can also do. Not a problem.
Yes, sir. In a Docker and Kubernetes also, any inbuilt code is provided by the Docker team. Means,
yes, you can see, right? When I have given Docker run Ubuntu, entire image was created. So and also there was a Docker files which I have created. Let me show this. So I'm just creating some Docker file which I have created. So from the Ubuntu image, so I'm getting one operating system. In that operating system, I am running some commands, nothing but a script. So multiple commands combined can be called as a script. So I'm running a script to create any Docker image. So after creating the image, run the script.
okay, sir. Inbuilt scripts is available in that Docker, sir. Means in that Docker tool. in Azure there will be inbuilt scripts will be there, sir.
Azure is something different. Azure is like a cloud provider. When you're creating a VM machine, you will be giving something like the user data. But here in the Azure, generally you want to create Windows, you want to create Linux, you'll create that. Whatever the image you have, you'll select it. What kind of RAM you want, you just select it and create it. But here, what image you want, what specification you want, you specify here everything declaratively. But there, whatever the choice you have, you just use it. But here, what are the options, what are the choice? Other than that, you can create your own images. You can create your own images. But coming to Azure or AWS, whatever the images have in the marketplace, we have to use those. You got it right, Saikran?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, then anyone have questions, you can ask me. We can wind up this meeting. Yes, AllPro Mobin, you can.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
You can forward the meeting.
Yeah. Okay. So hi, actually everyone. Hope the class is very useful for all of them. So can you just say any one word about the trainer, how the feedback about him?
Yeah, he was nice.
Yeah, drop in the chat. I can read that. Yeah, so I can be excellent. Okay, thank you. And okay, I'm going to now I will share you some about AllPro trainings, like what is the course we are conducting, and what is the offer is going, as well as the previous students review, all kind of things I will going to teach show you that. Okay, thanks for Gautam. Thank you for your great feedback about the trainer. Okay, end of the sessions we will provide the feedback link for who fill the feedback link for those people. We'll share the e-certificate within this week by your email. Okay, we'll share end of the session the feedback link. Okay, everyone can see my screen. Can you, if it is yes, just drop the in chat box so that I can start my thing. Yeah, thank you. I'm just going to show you the review, previous student review to you all. She's Aishwarya Jayashree. I studied the Selenium from the AllPro trainings. Here she's the feedback. So got very good guidance and support from the trainers. Will definitely recommend to people who need to develop the skills and switch with the better height. So this is the Selenium student Aishwarya Jayashree feedback. So next is Mohana Priya. She is a studied a Python. The Python student review. She is also telling the great review and giving the 5-star also. So I'm new to coding related to subject. The class helped me to improve my skills and development, especially for the future jobs. So if you are going to be study the Python as well as also will provide, and also not for who shift to non-IT to IT also will a great platform here. We will create you and will teach you the great things to you all. So this is a Blue Prism student review. So AP training provide a very good training and they make sure student understand the syllabus and they clarify the doubts. 100% is satisfied. And after the AP trainings to learn, they have so many courses and very professional trainers. So we have a lot of the professional trainers. If you want any course, not even the Docker and Kubernetes, other than that also we are providing. So this is the UiPath student review. So Monida Reddy, we have a lot of review actually. So few samples only we are going to showing you all. So this is the next SQLDBA student and the Starina Vijay, an SQLDBA student. Thank you so much for your training. It is really helpful for me too and get a clear pictures on SQL. With the help of your training and tips, hope I can able to crack my interview. So we are providing the interview sessions also. So who take the course from our site will definitely give you the training sessions and the interview, how to enter the interviews, all this kind of things we will provide you. So next I'm going to show you what is the guide, student guide we are providing. So the AP training student guide, what are the student guide? So we are providing the 5 forces, AllPro training 5 forces. First is a simple learning methodology, and the second one is student recall. Third one is creative explanations, and fourth one is the finger trip materials, and the fifth one is additional bonuses. So what is the teaching methodology? So I'm going just to briefly explain you what is the teaching methodology. It contains 6 sessions. So 6 sessions contain each every 75 minutes. So the 75 minutes, what are you going to be say every day? 75 minutes. The first one, 10 minutes, and yesterday class revision and doubt clearance. This is the first one. And second session is the 20 minutes. That is the class topics. That day class topics. And the third one is 15 minutes for students practice. Time for the topics. So what is the topics based on that? You have to be do some practice on that 15 minutes. And the fourth session is again they will take some classes after continue your practice sessions. So fifth sessions it will take 10 minutes. That is a student practice times. And sixth session is a 5 minutes. That is a student recall today's class with the trainer. So totally it contains 10, 20, 10 plus 20 plus 15 plus 15 and plus 10 plus 5. It is a 75 minutes. That is a 6 sessions, 75 minutes. That is a per day. It will take until when the class will complete the scenario. And the next one is a pyramid. What is the learning pyramid? It is divided into 3 types: auditory, visuals, and kinesthetics. So this is a lecture pyramid steps. So if you can lecture, you will gain 5% knowledge, and the reading you gain 10%, and the audio visual it will be increased at 20%, and demonstration it will be take 30%. Discussion automatically, if you learn one topic, you can discuss automatically you can gain the 50% of knowledge. And next is the practice. When you're learning something, you can do the practice. So 75 minutes it will be take. So 90% you can teach others, it will automatically can get 90%. So what is the next? There's a creative explanations. What is the creative explanations? First one is e-learning. So different kind of the courses we are providing, as well as what is the creative explanations. First one is the e-learning, second one is e-coaching, next collab learning, and the visual classroom. So e-learning is using online tools like a video, audio, and text, and e-coaching is a personal training through Skype, Zoom, through by some apps, which is comfortable for your students. So collab training is a chat discussion in the forums, and the virtual classrooms are group and coaching online. So what is a OneNote? OneNote is a more productivity, save your timing and save your money, the reductions there. It is a improve your efficiency and great productivity, the eliminations, and these are the OneNotes. So you can take anything the OneNotes. It is useful for your present and futures too. And if you need in futures, you can refer this those topics which you want and save that one. So next one is what is the more information we are providing? What are the types of information we are providing more in the futures? First one, the classrooms with the pictures. Second one is diagrammatic flow explanation, and third one is all training text in a single notebook. These are the we are providing. It is helpful for your futures to learn about your course. If you have any doubts, you can go through these things and you get your knowledge better than that. So next one is the finger trip materials. What is the we are providing? So all materials will be available in the Carbon cloud drive. So including when you're starting, when you start learning course from our side, we are providing these things. I mean video recordings. So the class recordings and the class notes with the documents and the software. These things will be always available in the common cloud, which is your you and your trainer related cloud. So next is the additional bonuses. What is the additional bonuses? Who joined in additional in this session? One second. Hello. Additional bonuses. This is a free interview sessions. The next is the resume preparations help, and third one is a lifelong community support and professional certificate guidance and job links and getting jobs via AllPro contest. Also, we are having the consultancy solutions also. So these are additional bonuses. These things who attend this webinar, today's session, for those people only, for those students only, we are providing these additional bonuses. So the additional bonuses, free interview sessions. You will get a free interview sessions. We will help you in the interview. I mean, how to attend the interview and what of the things you have to be learned to attend the interview. The things, all of that we will guide you and we will help you. And the second one is how to prepare the resume. So preparations help and community support, professional certificate guidance and job links. We are continuously providing the job links when you are until you are getting the job. So we are providing the job by AllPro consultancy. So this is the AllPro trainings, Unlearn, Become a Pro. So next I will show you the offers. What are the offers we are currently going and the benefits. What is the benefits you are going to be getting this from the AllPro trainings by using today's webinar, because we are providing a lot of things, a lot of advances and additional bonuses to attend today's webinar. For those people and students only, we are going to give the additional courses. So the AllPro training, and I'm going to just explain the trainings model. So this is a training model. This is a full course. This is a training medium is either Skype or Zoom, or if you have any other app, we are conducted through by the apps too. So normal training model is 35 to 40 hours, which means 2,400 minutes, 30 classes, and already we discussed 30 classes per classes. It will be covered 35 minutes per day. That is the 6 sessions that already we discussed before. So you have any idea? This is the course market price. If you want to go and study in the Docker and Kubernetes futures, definitely you will get this much of the price. That is a 25K to 30K. But in the airport trainings, definitely we will not provide you that much of the price. So you don't want to appear about this amount of the price you have to be paid. So definitely we are not provide you this course for this much of the price. So in the normally, I'm just going to explain you normally how much amount we are provided for Docker and Kubernetes. So that's the full courses are 20,000. Who studied in the previous students also, we are providing the 20,000. But we are already, as I said, for those we have the special offer for who attend the webinar. So in the 20K also we are not giving, we are not provided for you, because you are attend this today webinar. So the special offer is for who attend this webinar, the particularly who attended and who filled the feedback link. For those people, definitely we are providing this much of the price. This is the offer price. Definitely, yeah, crazy offers, and the 50% full courses and the 15K. So this is the 50% off, 15,000 for your course. But we are provided this offer per week. So within this 1 week, who join the session and who are all join the session, those students will join within this 1 week. Definitely will provide you 15,000 Docker and Kubernetes for 30 hours, and which means per day 75 minutes. This is all we are going to provide you, but this is only 1 week offer. So next we are going to be better than offer than this, because this is for 1 hour offer. The 1 hour offer I will show you. So this is a 60 minutes discount. So this is a 60% offer. Full course is 12,000. So who guys are take the admission from our side, and next 60 minutes the offer price is only for 12K. So I think this is price is more benefit for you all, because this much of the price definitely others in the market prices definitely they will not provide. If you can go ask also, definitely they will not give you 12,000 for this course, because this is a 60% offer, and also we are providing the additional bonuses also, plus the with the discount price. So we are providing the discount price as well as the additional bonuses too for who attended the master class today. For those people only we are providing the great discount. So you have any about feedback your price regarding the price, you can be asked in the chat about the price, or if you have any interested you can ping me, let me take the admissions also. If you have any doubts, you can be ask me in the chat. I will respond your chat. I think I'm audible, right? I think yes, I got answer. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you. Visible. Okay, thank you. For anyone, I think Sai Kiran, your video is on. Can you turn off your video? Thank you. And okay, if you have any doubt about your price and discounter class and trainer details, you can ask. Not even for the other courses also we are conducting. So we have doubt and also can ask. But this is a Docker and Kubernetes 1 hour offer, 60 minutes discount. It's a full course is 12,000 plus the additional bonuses we are providing. So normally we are providing the 20,000 for this course. So don't miss this chance and grab your opportunity here. And so what is the special bonuses? Already I said before this, who attended the webinar, and we are providing the discount price and the special bonuses. Already we had discussed. So free interview session and the resume preparations help and the professional certification guidance and the lifelong community support. This is the 4 additional bonuses special, and we are providing the additional bonuses and the special bonuses, these things, and as well as the discount price. So this is all of the offers only provided by who attended today's webinar. So don't miss this opportunity. If you have any doubts or if you want to take the admission, you just drop a message. I can explain you if you have any doubts. And other things is your special advantages, and it is a complete online, so you are clear your queries at any time with the trainer, and the trainer will definitely guide you at your questions. So next is a training at your preferred times. We don't have the fixed time like that this time you have the class will be start, not at all. So when you are preferring that time only, we will arrange your training. So training at your preferred time. And the next one is the recorded videos. So definitely we are provided you the recorded videos. If you have any doubts in that time or in the future, you can go through the recorded videos. That is a very helpful and useful to you. So this is the special advantages. Next is the job link. We are providing LinkedIn job link continuously until you are getting the job. And this is the salary productions. So for fresher, we'll get a 2.5 lakhs per annum. If you get a certified course, any course, definitely will get the 70% of 70% to 100%. This is the salary productions. Who are complete the certified course will get definitely 60% to 100%. Who are completed the certified, which means which course you are taken, you have to at least complete the certification, because nowadays the certification is very important to grow your salary and to increase your salary, because this is the salary productions. So freshers the experience to 3 experience to 10 years experience as salary production. And this is the one small step you can change your life. So don't think about this, because we are giving the so much less price to you only. So not that much of the price, because it is a discount price. So you can grab this opportunity. So thank you for all who attend the webinar, and I will show you if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I will share you the feedback link. So definitely you have to be fill the feedback link, because without feedback filling, we can't provide the syllabus. Sorry, we can provide the certifications. So if you want the syllabus also, we are provider. If you need the syllabus also, we will provide you. You can ask me the chat. I will share you the feedback link. Just hold on. If you have any doubts, you can ping me in chat. I can explain you. I am audible. Yes, thank you, Durgashwari. Thank you for proper response. Actually, yes, audible. Thank you. If you have any doubts, how to join the course and what is the fee structures at all, and the syllabus required and contact number, I will provide you. And this is the feedback link, and I will provide you contact link for WhatsApp number 735838820. This is my WhatsApp number. You want to take the admission for next 1 hour, you can contact me by WhatsApp. Definitely we will provide you and guide you how to join, and if you are required the syllabus also, we will provide you. And don't forget to fill the feedback form link, because without the filling the forms, definitely you will not get the certificate. So next I will share you the payment links to you. And also you can ask me, have any doubt about that, any about today's session. Anyone? You can be just chat with me. Yeah, thank you, Durga, for your sessions. Yes, the trainer were explained well. I think everyone will get better knowledge. I think so, because the sessions were very great, and the trainers also explained well actually today's session. So if you are take the admission, definitely we will provide you same trainer to you if you are required, because the trainers are trained already more than 500 students. Thank you, Durgeshwar. You are very active person in the group. I think so. You are responding very fast. I think so. And I share your payment method and payment link, as well as feedback form. Everyone got the feedback form. If you are not, tell me. I can forward you. Thank you. Thank you, Durgeshwari. Okay, everyone got the feedback form link. If you are not, let me know. I can share. Because without feedback, without filling the form, definitely you will not receive the certificates. So this is the must one you will get. If you need a certificate, you have to be fill the feedback form link, because it is. I will show you the trainer also. And actually, thank you also. You are also giving the response. And okay, great. I got a 1 admissions now, and thank you. Thank you for all actually who attended, and the session is very attractive to you, because you are also giving and proper response in the chat and immediate reply also. So thank you for attentions, and thank you for interactions. This is the most interactions today, by I think so. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, then can we ask me 5 more minutes? I will have. So I will let you clarify your doubts actually. Any doubts about the class? And not even this, you already have shared the YouTube. So if you want to again listen this webinar, you just subscribe our YouTube channel, and not even this Docker and Kubernetes. We have update lot of technologies for webinar. You can check videos, our webinar videos. Definitely, it will very useful for you. So I share you the feedback link also, and also the YouTube link and the payment feedback link. Okay, Satya Siran, already I have shared. 1 second, again I will share you. This is my WhatsApp number. And I share the feedback link. This is our YouTube. So three things I have forwarded. So subscribe our YouTube channel, and we learn more technologies. We have updated lot of technologies webinar in our YouTube channel. You can go through it. Feedback form also have shared. You can just fill the feedback form link. If you have anyone take the admission, you can ping me now itself, or else after the WhatsApp also, because 1 hour offer, it is still 1 hour only. So after 9, definitely the offer will be closed. So within the 1 week offer also we are providing, that is a 15,000. So don't miss this opportunity, because we are providing very less price only. So for 30 hours. So think about that and take your admission and grab your future. Thank you so much for your all joining. If you have any doubts, you can call me and you by WhatsApp, and you can ask me the group also. We will explain you and we'll clarify your doubts. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Yuvasri. Thank you so much for who responds me and promptly. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.